Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing, man? Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? How we doing? Matt Antonelli here, answering your questions today. Today we're talking recruiting, and we're specifically talking to parents, mom and dad. What role should you take in the recruiting process? What should you do? What shouldn't you do? I get this question all the time. I have personal experience both as a college coach, actually doing the recruiting, and then in my role right now, where we're helping our players get recruited. I've seen great parents, and I've seen parents that literally have cost their children scholarship offers and roster offers. And you may think I'm lying, but I've talked to multiple coaches that have literally come out and said, we really like the kid, but we cannot take him because of mom and dad, either mom or dad, or sometimes both. Can't handle them, don't want to deal with them over the next 4 years. And that all has happened, that has been said strictly because of the way that the parents approached and handled the recruiting process. So let's get into it today. As a parent, here's the thing. You can do a couple things. Your job really is to help support your child, okay? And you can help guide them from the background, in the background, not out front leading the charge, okay? You've got to make sure that your son or daughter is leading the charge. They are the one that are answering all the emails, doing all the communication. You have to make sure that they are the number one person in the process, and you can help them, but you have to make sure that they're doing it. For one, you want to make sure that they're going to end up being the one that chooses the school, that, it's their decision. We always say they're making a 40-year decision, not a 4-year decision. So it's a super important decision in their life. And obviously, as a parent, we're dealing with 15 and 16 and 17-year-old kids, and you are without a doubt there to help them. Okay? But don't run the process. Not going to help them. And in some cases, and actually most cases, it will really hurt them. Okay? So here's a couple of do's and don'ts. Okay? Never, ever, ever, this is number one thing, never, ever, ever reply to emails, reply to phone calls, to text messages, or just reach out on your own to college coaches through any of those avenues. Do not ever, ever, ever do that. That is a huge red flag to a college coach that, two things. Either one, this parent is super overbearing and they're going to drive me absolutely insane when their son gets on campus. They're going to be the parent that's calling me every single day, that's asking why their son isn't playing or isn't starting, or you're just going to be a headache. Okay, so that's the number one thing. Number two, it shows that the player isn't either mature, isn't taking it serious, and if I can't trust the player, or if the player isn't capable of answering an email or a phone call with me, then how could I ever expect him to go away from mom and dad and actually show up to class and stay eligible and show up to practice and get to the weight room at 6 a.m. without, mom or dad pulling him out of bed? All of that stuff. That to them is a huge red flag, that their son is going to be, the player that they're recruiting is going to be incapable of doing that stuff, okay? And he may not be, right? Maybe he's perfectly fine, but just because the parent is overbearing and doing all and answering everything, coach is going to assume that the player can't do it, all right? And some players, I've talked to parents before, and some parents just can't help themselves, right? They just have to be in there. They have to be doing all this stuff, and they think that they're actually helping, right? Johnny's got a lot of stuff on his plate. Johnny's got practice and he's got homework and he's got finals this week, and I'm helping him out. You're not helping him out. So just know that you're not helping him out. All right. So leave all the communication to the player. Let them do everything. When you go on campus for a visit, right? This goes towards the campus visits also. Don't answer the questions for your son. All right. So I've had this plenty of times. I've had tons and tons of players on campus, right? If you're a player, or if your son's a player that is going to get genuine interest from schools, he's going to end up at some point being on campus with a coach. Don't answer questions for them. I see this all the time. I'll ask the player a question. Hey, any question. What is it about the school that you really enjoy? Or, what about the program? Or any question. And the parent answers the question for the kid. Or the kid, when you ask the kid the question, he looks over at his mom or his dad. I don't know why they're looking over. They're looking over for them to answer. They're looking over because, mom and dad have always answered every single question for the player. But that's another red flag, okay? So don't answer the questions. Let your child answer the question. And, tell them they're a big boy and they can do it themselves. And if the coach asks the parent a question, then you can go ahead and do it. But visits is a big, big part of it. Every coach is going to have the player on campus at some point to talk with them in person. And that's the point. Phone call's great and email's great and text and all that stuff. But when I meet you face-to-face on campus, that's where I'm really making decisions on what type of kid is this. And is this a kid that can handle, what we're about to throw at him when he gets here, whenever he gets here. And let the player answer the questions. Let them run that visit. And again, you are just there. Maybe you're their ride, and you're there to listen. And when you go home, you can help discuss what, the pros and the cons of the school and all of that. But don't be the one that's leading the visit. Don't be answering the questions for your son, okay? That's a no-no. What you can do is, and what I think every parent's job is to do, again, we talked about some of these kids are 15 years old, 16 years old. They don't even know what they want to do for the rest of their life. And so you can, without a doubt, help them stay organized, help them make a list of the schools and what are the pros and the cons of each school, help them go through it, and then give your input on, each school and let them know. There's certain things financially. It's going to be one of probably your main jobs is to let the player know what makes sense financially. Some players, I talk to players all the time, they don't even think about finances. They're just like, yeah, I want to go play at this school and that school and this school. And, I don't care about scholarships or anything like that. I just want to go play baseball. And that's great. You may not, but somebody has to pay this bill. Someone's going to you're going to either take out loans and come out of school with a lot of debt, or mom and dad are going to pay it. But, that's one of the big things as a parent is making sure that the player understands financially what can we afford, what schools can we look at. And although it's great to play at, all these schools, maybe we can't afford to play at those. So again, you're guiding the player through it and you're helping support them and letting them know, we have to cross these few schools off the list because it doesn't make sense for us financially. Academically, typically the college coach is going to help with that. And the players should be able to get their own feel for what school they like. But again, you're there to kind of help them. You can take some notes. I know what I did with my parents. Every school that I went to, I'd write down, the pros and the cons, what I liked, what I didn't like. And then my parents discussed it. We all discussed it. We sat down and said, this is what we liked about the schools and what we didn't like. Again, this is all behind the scenes stuff that helped me out. All right, so that's what you should be doing. So hopefully that helps you guys out a little bit. There's probably we could go into this. It could probably be a couple-hour video. But I just want to make sure that parents really understand that your actions can really hinder your son's ability to receive a scholarship or a rostered offer. And although you may not think so, you have to be very careful because, like I said, I've gotten a lot of coaches over the years have crossed players off and not taken a player, not offered them a scholarship because of the parent. And, that's unfair to the player, obviously. And parents, I feel bad because they're trying to help. They want to help so bad. They want to do everything they can to make sure that they're giving their child every chance possible to play baseball and, live their dream and all that stuff. And some of them they think they're helping and they're not helping at all. They're actually hurting. So hopefully this helps maybe one or two parents out there that might have happened to. Hopefully this will help give you a little bit of insight and help you not do that. So Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video with all your friends, all that good stuff. Check out the description box below. We've got a bunch of stuff going on down there. We've got a deal going on with Plate Crate. So you can click the link below, type in Antonelli, get 50% off your first Plate Crate. We also have our Patreon channel where you can support or Patreon page where you can support the channel. And we got a bunch of other stuff also. And that's all I got. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you later.